Now to our final award presentation. TMA's Patient Ambassador Award is annually presented to an individual or group that has demonstrated extraordinary effort and success raising awareness of myositis diseases among the public. In 2023, Grammy award-winning musician and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Peter Frampton received this award. Please welcome Kathy Perez, the head of Global Patient Advocacy and Policy at argenx, the lead partner for TMA's Patient Ambassador Award. Kathy will introduce this year's honoree.
Thank you all. It's my absolute pleasure to get to introduce this award. I want to say first that the world knows her really as a supermodel. The public knows that she's been on the covers of Vogue, Elle, Bazaar. She even made it to Sports Illustrated. That's very cool. Her family, and she's joined by many of them at these two tables here, including her mother Edith, her sister Susan, her daughters Audrey Rose, Ella, and Zora, are here with her this evening. And they describe her as, her sister said to me, people often ask, tell me about your sister, and she said, my sister's a beautiful woman on the outside, but she's more beautiful on the inside. And that just touched my heart. I thought that was a very special thing. I had a really nice chat with her daughter, Zora, and I asked about her mother. And what she told me is that my mom was able to navigate a time in her life and be a mother while she was also going through a very important diagnosis. And navigating that for her daughters demonstrated to her, Zora, how powerful her mother was and how loving she was at the same time. She was caring for her children, but also teaching them to be wonderful women and to share always what's on your heart. The Myositis Association knows her as an amazing patient ambassador. She's got a loud voice, she's got a strong voice, she has an amazing reach because of the experiences that she's had in her life. And I am very, very honored to be able to introduce her this evening to all of you so that you can get to know her just a little bit. But right now, we want to honor Karen Alexander as the Patient Ambassador Awardee this year. I think one more time because Audrey's coming with her.
Got one tissue, so I've got to keep it together. Well, I didn't know my children were going to be interviewed and that my sister would have me crying at the table. So here we are. I was speaking to the TMA Women of Color Affinity Group. Was that only last night? Yes, last night. And I said that I have a lot of family here in Baltimore and in Washington, and every year we have a family reunion. We changed locations, but just last year, the reunion was here in Baltimore. So I feel very much at home. Thank you so much for this honor. got a lot of people to thank. Those of you with myositis will understand brain fog. You will understand my myositis has affected every part of me. Am I gonna not? Okay. From my head to my toes. Inside and outside. I am not that person that you saw over there. When people see me, sometimes they say, well, I guess I clean up okay. But very often with a lot of autoimmune diseases, people will say that, well, you don't look sick, right? I know you understand. So I cleaned up a little bit, and I'm so happy to be here and to receive this honor. I do have notes because, like I said, brain fog. So, well, hello, my myositis family. It is so good to be here with you tonight and to have my myositis family meet my Alexander family. I hope some of you had a chance to not only hear the things that my family had to say about me, but also if you meet my family, then you know everything you need to know about me. And these shiny little pictures, are they still there? Oh, they're gone. Well, the ones you saw really only tell part of my story. I'm the youngest of 4. I'm the baby. Some people might say spoiled. I like to refer to myself as well-loved. It's funny, I want to tell a quick story. So I was walking up here with Audrey, my youngest, and my brother David will understand, I had this memory of being 15 and running track. I'm from New Jersey. I ran track. Well, I hated running, but I liked jumping. And our father worked very, very hard. He was an engineer. He passed away in 2018. And as I was walking up here, I remembered being at track meets and pretending to warm up, but I could feel when my father entered the stands. I could feel his presence, and do you remember? I'd turn around and be looking right at him. And I say that to say that I feel him here tonight with us and with me. I'm so grateful to TMA, to the board, the medical advisors, to receive this honor in the presence of people that are truly my heroes. And I think some of the people that I accosted, that I grabbed onto physicians and patients, you have to imagine what you mean to me. I won't say any names, Dale, but I'll just say, you have to imagine what you mean to me. Imagine after 20 years of itching, rashing, hair loss, weight loss, East Coast, West Coast, cannot figure out what's wrong with me. And finally, about 17 years in, I moved to California. I married a screenwriter. Yes, he'll be writing a movie about myositis. Give me time, okay? Yes, he will. And I had my youngest daughter at 47. She's my third. And I got so sick so quickly. And a lot of people think that because of my work, that I just expected to be, thin or whatever I was. But what myositis did to me, the rashes were one thing, but this adventure, there's nothing that could prepare me for it. It was painful. I was crawling. My daughter was crawling. And finally, I have a muscle biopsy and blah, 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 blah. I get diagnosed. And the diagnosis is one of the happiest days of my life. Because for so many years, almost 20 of them, I did think I was crazy. People did not believe me. I was reprimanded by a dermatologist for not wearing enough sunscreen because I had the rash. Right? So I was pretty happy. And then my neuromuscular specialist, Dr. Mahajan, said, "It's lovely for you to come in here with all of your notes and questions, but you're not my only patient, and you need to check out TMA." And that was the beginning of feeling seen and heard and understood. And as I said at the beginning, I am well loved. And no one loves me more than the people right here. Right? Very, very well loved. And so for me, it was sort of like when I found those videos, those patient story videos, I would watch those things all day, all night. I get what I call the 2 a.m. scaries. Some of you might understand when your house gets quiet and the prednisone kicks in. And you start to think about the word incurable. And you start to wonder, well, what is this going to mean? And I did watch Dale. She was the first personal story that I watched. And the fact that I'll never forget watching you, and when you said, "I'm doing well," when I tell you you were my hero, do you believe me now? Because that let me know that something was possible. That even when people use the word incurable, that I know and I believe in my heart and in my soul that even if I cannot be cured, I can heal. And that's what TMA has been for me. That's what Dale has been to me, and Chip, and Holly, and I think one of the loves of my life, Jerry Williams, who's not here tonight. That's what you gave to me. This disease breaks your heart. It has broken my heart 1,000 times. And even in my heartbreak, there is so much hope because of everyone who's here, because of my Alexander family and my Myositis family. I am so incredibly grateful, not just to receive this award, which of course I am. Whoever thought I'd follow Peter Frampton in anything? As my dad would say, not too shabby, kid. This year, it's my 8th year, with myositis has been my hardest year, and I don't know why. Because, I started out on that high with the diagnosis, but then I realized, oh my goodness, I need to live. I need to figure out, how am I going to live with this thing? Not how am I going to be on the cover of Vogue. I did that. That was great, and it was special, and it was shiny, and I'm not taking anything away from that. I have been very, very blessed. But how am I going to live with this thing that changes every single day? I have no idea what to expect. And this has been my challenge. This is the year where I decided that I always cry when I talk about my kids. My kids are my everything, and I needed to find a way to live, not because I was someone's mom, which I love, and someone's sister, daughter. My mom is here. I hope you get to talk to her. Someone's wife. But I needed to figure out this year, how do I want to live? Because I love my life. I love my life because it is mine. And what is going to give my life shape and meaning? And it doesn't need to be shiny, but I have to live a life of meaning and a life of service. I must. It is an Alexander rule. It really is the backbone of the Alexander family. It is the lesson, and it is the way. It is like air. And how am I going to do that? And who cares about a Vogue cover? But what do I do with all of that stuff? What do I do with who I am and what I've done? But what do I do with it now? And then comes an email from Paula. Where are you, Paula? Telling me about this award, and I said, what in the world? Heroes. That's lovely, but I haven't done anything yet. And I realize I have to change my mind. To change my mind, how I think about how I want to live. And I have to change my mind about what this award means. I was telling my daughters yesterday, I think, that I always thought of awards like, oh, you're Simone Biles, and you go to the Olympics and you win 99,000 gold medals. The medal comes, the award comes at the end of something. You've completed something. And this award for me feels like a beginning. It feels like a beginning when I really needed it the most. Now more than ever, I needed a new way to figure out, how am I going to be? Who am I going to be? How will I serve? And then I got that email. So I am so grateful to be able to begin again, to be new again, to have a community of people who see me, and not just for what I've done, but because of what I have. It feels so good to be in a place where people understand this thing that I have, and you have given me a way to use that. I have to actually read some names of people I want to thank now. Thank you for listening to me. So, I'm especially proud to receive this award as the TMA Women of Color Affinity Group celebrates its 5th anniversary. Pretty good. I am grateful to my parents. My mom is here. They were open to my wild and crazy dreams. Like the time I told them when I was 15, you know, I've decided that I'm going to build a community home because I want to care for elders, care for the unhoused, and I also think that no one should die alone, so it'll also be a hospice. I was 15. My plan was to work as a model for about a year, and then I was going to travel the world, which would allow me to visit countries and places and cultures and to understand how do other people care for their elders and they're unhoused and they're dying. And then, I don't know, I blinked, and that year turned into a career of almost 40 years. The wild thing is, though, that during the 80s and 90s, AIDS, HIV happened, which decimated my industry. So I lost so many friends. And so I had an opportunity to be with several of my friends at the end of their lives, and that was the start of my hospice work, really. And so the thing that you don't know about me, maybe you do, that I've been a hospice worker, volunteer, since I was 17 years old. And that is sort of like the modeling thing, paid the bills, but journeying with someone until the end of their time, that felt like a calling. And I imagine that so many of you must feel, so many of the clinicians that are here and the researchers and the volunteers, that you feel called. And there is no feeling like feeling that you've been called to do something. And I decided this year I would return to my hospice work, but I just have not been stable enough. I just can't. I have not been able to my doctor says, yeah, remission, remission. That's what I'm seeking. I didn't get there. And then this letter. So I do feel called to be here with you, not just tonight, but in all the days ahead, and in all the ways that you've been there for me. I do feel called to fight for, I'll put it this way, it's not enough for me that my disease has an FDA-approved treatment, but IBM doesn't. It's not good enough for me, right? I'm ready to fight and ready to get to work with you. I need to thank my doctor, Dan Arkfeld at USC Keck. Thank you for believing me and hearing me and continuing to care for me. Dr. Mahajan, you are my hero. When I told her I wanted to do a cartwheel 2 years ago, she said, I don't know if I love that for you. But she said, Karen, find the thing that gives you that cartwheel feeling. What's the thing that gives you a cartwheel? Now, why did I want to do a cartwheel? Because my youngest daughter was doing a cartwheel, and I live in Southern California, and the sun's always shining, and the sky's always blue, and she was doing these cartwheels in the grass, and she just looked so free. And now, my myositis brothers and sisters, I know you know what I mean when I say that one of the hardest things about this disease is not feeling free or light to do the things you want to do. And so I'm no longer working on my cartwheel, but you, TMA family, you, my myositis brothers and sisters, you give me that cartwheel feeling. I am so grateful to be here with you tonight. Thank you to my brothers who are here, my sister-in-law Sarah, my sister-in-law Patty, who is not here, my sister Susan. My siblings were my first friends. My parents taught me how to love. My children, Ella, Zora, Audrey. I have 2 children of my heart that didn't come from me, Corey and Kai. You've made me grow up. You've taught me how to change my mind. And you've taught me how to let go. It's been the honor of my life to be your mama. I thank my husband, Kurt, and I think of all of the caregivers, because loving someone with myositis is no joke. Kurt has been by my side. He's gone to doctor's appointments. He has seen the 2 a.m. scaries. He has seen the trail of crumbs when I'm on prednisone in the morning, and I've eaten everything but the cushions off the couch. But he also believes in me as just an individual, not just his wife and not just a mom. And I appreciate his support. And the other thing I want to say to you, I'm really wrapping up now, okay, last thing, is I have truly carried you and the idea of you into MRIs and scans and labs and muscle biopsies. I have thought of you, Dale and Jerry. I've thought of this community during every one of my 341 IVIG infusions. I have thought of you. And I hope you know that, and I hope you will think of me. I have thought of you, and I have gained courage from you. And the only reason why I'm here is because of you. I thank you. I'm honored. I'm ready for more. Thank you so much.